Hello, everyone, and welcome to Transforming Today Show. I am your host, Rebecca Weintraub, and today I have the pleasure of having Dumari St. Angelo. How are you, Dumari?
I'm great. So happy to be here, Rebecca. Thank you.
So much in store today.
Yeah.
I was like thinking, I couldn't sleep last night. I was up till like 3 a.m. because I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk to her about everything. So I'm really excited. And so let's let our viewers know what you do. So people, I know we were talking earlier and people say, what do you do? So how do you respond?
Yeah. So basically I empower people to bounce back from divorce or major breakup and regain their confidence, heal, and create a life that they absolutely love, supported by the universe in every way. That's a really important part too.
Yeah, I know it is for you. And I'm like, I cannot get over the pictures behind you. And when you say create a life that you love, and I'm just like, I would love to be sitting on that beach every day looking at that ocean.
Yeah, I'm going to show you something. It's actually very on purpose. You see that?
Yeah.
There's the darkness.
Yeah.
And that's the chaos and overwhelmment and all those feelings that we get when we're facing a very big challenge. And I help people transform and bring them back to the light.
Oh,
Isn't that beautiful?
I just feeling you were going to say that. This is so great.
Yeah.
So you didn't just fall into this. You must have had something happen that led you to doing this work. So tell us about this amazing transformation of yours.
Yeah. So basically, I feel like my life has been divinely designed and orchestrated to do what I'm doing now. Not that long ago. Well, I was married for 16 years. And when I got married, I thought it would be forever. And I felt I was happy. I had 2 boys. And I was a stay-at-home mom since they were born through when I got divorced. And I love being a mom. And I was busy, I was taking care of the house, taking care of them, very involved in their lives, in their school. But also it allowed me the opportunity to focus on another passion of mine. And that passion is connecting with the spiritual world and having a 2-way communication with what I call our spiritual support team, which is our angels, our guides, our soul, source. And then learning about how we manifest, how do our thoughts become things. And also healing, emotional healing. That was, I was very interested in all those 3 topics. And I took so many trainings. I got a bunch of certifications. I became an angel therapy practitioner, a hypnotherapist, parent coach, relationship coach. I love to learn and absorb specifically on those topics. And little did I know that I was gathering all these tools that I would actually use later on in my life when my life started crumbling down. Because when my marriage started falling apart, I found myself experiencing pain that I had never experienced before. All my hopes and dreams were now crumbling down. Fears, my gosh, the fears were paralyzing me. Like, what's going to happen with me in the future? How am I going to support myself financially? What's going to happen to my kids? Where am I going to live? I didn't feel loved. There were so many layers. But thank God I had my spiritual support team that I reached out for help. And it was such a beautiful experience how they guided me to heal myself, heal my heart, empower myself, and ultimately create a life that is even better than I was experiencing before. And the insights and clarity that I got through that journey were just incredible. I learned about soul agreements that I had with my ex, my soul purpose, and how actually the life that I was living was helping me. First of all, it was too small to match what my soul really came here for. So all that needed to become a part so that my new, more empowered life would flourish. And it was all by design. It was my soul agreement. So that's how it actually evolves from that big challenge and now into the gift that this challenge offered me. And that's part of my message to people, that all these challenges that we experience in our lives are actually gifts from the universe to nudge us and support us in living our greatest destiny, what our soul came here to experience.
I love it. I feel like I could just go into a gentle sleep or meditation.
Yeah.
So many things came up for me when you were just talking, and it's, I think I feel so connected to you just because that's also how I view life, and I live my life too. I really feel like everything I've experienced, even though everything has not been great, has prepared me essentially to help others, to heal myself so that I can help others.
Yeah.
All of what you said just really resonates with me. So let's talk. First, I want to learn more about some of the things that you learned when you were developing these skills. You mentioned a couple different modalities. Can you maybe pick one or two and just tell us some of the little gifts that you learned along the way?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I would say the foundation is connecting with my spiritual support team, because that allows me to always go check in with my inner guidance first. So before I make any decision, or there's so many choices that we are presented with every day, and they're small choices and big choices. I always check in with my inner guidance. So that has been one of the most empowering aspects of this journey, because I don't go out of myself for clarity or for information or like what to do. I go within myself. I say, okay, what is the highest for me right now? What will bring up the highest outcome? And then I now know how our inner guidance works, and how we're always guided, if we ask, to what serves us and how loved we are. And it has been very empowering, because that inner guidance, it's always positive. It's always encouraging. It always, like, it's our greatest cheerleader and coach. It's like our inner coach, right? So it has empowered me from within, hence the name of my business, Empower You From Within. And also, I know that I'm not alone, that I don't need to go through whatever shows up in life by myself. I have this support team. And it makes life a lot easier, because I can now see that synchronicities happen because I have asked for support, and doors open up for me. And it just makes life easier, and I feel more loved and supported by life. And so that's what my spiritual support team has done for me. And then, and of course, now I get to help my clients connect with their spiritual support team, right? So it's very cool. And then along those lines, I became a hypnotherapist. So that's one of the tools I use to help people connect with their inner guidance as well. My focus is on helping them connect with their soul, because your soul has all the answers. It knows your past, your present, your future, why your challenges are happening, the lessons, how to get to your highest, greatest life, the path to follow. So it's, again, connecting you with that inner power within you. There's so many other tools, but it's all spiritually based, energetic based. It helps me see life like what's happening behind the scenes. Like everything is energy, and how our thoughts are energy, how our beliefs create our reality. How when there are these emotional triggers that come up, the pain, the fears, the anger, they're actually parts of us who are asking to be released and brought back to love. So there's a lot of healing that happens as well with my work. And it's all bringing us back to who we really are, the beautiful beings of love and light that we are. And it just happens that these challenges that come up in our lives are the catalyst to bring us back to love. Sometimes it has to get really hard for us to look for help. So that's what I have seen in my life and in the life of my clients.
I love it. And I just, this could be really silly, but it's like, when you're having like a really hard time, whether you're just going through a period or you just have like a day, and then you feel like you can't take any more, and you might be like, why is this happening? Like, how could you do this to me? Right? Like, I like,
oh yeah,
I talk to my outer power all the time, and it's okay. I can yell at my outer power, but like, of course, like, there are times where I'm like literally yelling, like, really, really, and then I'll stub my toe, and I'm like, if it couldn't get any worse, right? I know that's kind of silly, but I was thinking about that, because it just, sometimes we get put, and like the last time that happened to me, it helped me completely stop. Like I felt like a freight train going through life. And it was like that one little extra thing that just like made me like, really? And then it helped me relax. And I was like, okay, what am I doing? And it helps us look at it. But I have to ask you this, because I do a lot of intuition work as well. I am a release resentments coach, and I help people release their resentments. Probably released over 1,000 resentments in the last number of years with people. And I had 600 myself when I first took an inventory of them.
Wow.
And so I do this process. It's like a certified process that I have, and I teach other coaches how to do it too. And but I have to ask you, because I truly believe that a lot of the work to really tap into our intuition is when we're able to release those resentments, because the resentment touches, in my opinion, the mental, emotional, and physical part of us, our inner power. And it also incorporates our outer power, because we need to be able to reach out to that outer power, that spiritual dimension, to help us process, shift, transform, heal, come back into the best version of ourselves, and therefore help others, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to get your take on this. Intuition for me, there was a time where I went way too far with my spirituality. And it started feeling really uncomfortable. And I had to pull way back. And I thought to myself, I really need to find balance with this. And what I realized is that intuition is not just getting as spiritual as you can get. And, it's not just that gut feeling that you get for me, intuition is a balance of our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual dimensions in
Mhm.
an optimal state so that the answers just, like, we get into that intuitive flow and the answers are just there. They're just sitting right there. And our purpose is just sitting right there.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get, this is a concept that came to me after I went through a number of things, and this is what surfaced after I worked on everything that was just like it train wrecked my life for a long time. And
Mhm.
that's where I arrived. I want your take on that compared
Yeah.
to what you've learned and how you define, you keep saying sort of that inner wisdom or that inner guide.
Mhm.
I don't want to assume, but it makes me think of intuition when you're saying that.
Yeah, there's so many names for it, but I believe we're talking about the same thing. Another name that I like to use for it is divine love.
Mm.
And I don't, I feel like there's the ego part of us that believes in separation, that we are separate from love, we're separate from source, we're separate from life. And there's so much pain and hurt and resentment that
Mm.
comes from that belief. And then there's the knowing that who we really are is divine love. And divine love is oneness. Like we are all one. We're one with source, we're one with each other, and love is what's really real. So when you mention resentment, um, my take on it is that that's a reflection of our ego who believes in separation. And of course, it's resentful. It's resentful that we're separate. How can we be separate from love? It hurts. It makes life difficult. It makes me judge others and judge myself. And it makes me live in this really difficult, challenging life where I struggle. That's where the resentment I feel comes from. It's from that place of forgetting who we really are and the love and oneness that we are. Um, and then for me, the healing comes with addressing that resentment, really giving it a voice so that we can get to hear what it has to say instead of suppressing it, because so many of us just suppress the pain and the anger and those feelings. And it actually, like, it's still in there in our energy system, right, in our body. So energetically, we continue to bring to us experiences that reflect that resentment and that anger and that separation. So when we actually give it a voice and look at it and say, honey, tell me everything you want to say. And then let me hug you. Let me embrace you. Because the truth is that you are love. The truth is that you want to be loved. And love is the greatest healer, because love is really the only thing that's real. So let's let go of that illusion of separation. It's not really who you are. Let's bring you back to love. And then you can relax. Like, oh, you mean that I am loved? You mean that I'm valued, that I'm seen, that I don't have anything to worry about, that life loves me, that I am supported? And then when you start knowing this, your thoughts shift that vibration. So then life gets to reflect that back to you. And you heal. And you bring yourself back to alignment with who you really are, with love. And then life just gets easier. It's like your heart, there is an inner joy that comes up. It's like bubbles up. It's like, oh, I am love. I am loved. I am loving. That's who I am. And life loves me. And oh my gosh, it's like, yeah, back to truth, back to you, back to being free. Is that resonating with you? Is that?
Yeah. And so like personally for me, I have part of my release resentment process. It's different from what you described, but it ends up in the same place.
Yeah.
And so when you do the process over and over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
you find more joy, more connection, more love.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I went too far with that. And so I'm really curious whether you have boundaries around it or whether you have a certain balance and
Mm-hmm.
how you use that in your life to not go floating off into the clouds.
I love that question. Love it. Um, okay. So for me, there's so many of us who try to be spiritual. And it's like, I have to be better. That means that I need to meditate more, and I need to serve more, or I need to give more, because that's going to make me more spiritual. And that's how I can set myself free, or I can fulfill my soul purpose by being more spiritual. And I think I have a little different take on it. I believe that we are spiritual already, and we don't need to be more spiritual. We don't need to try to be more spiritual. That's who you are. So it's okay. You don't have to prove to yourself or anybody else that you are spiritual. You don't need to give yourself up either in order to be of service. I feel like when we are aligned and loving ourselves fully, because that's who we are, right? We're love. So it's giving that to ourselves first, because you cannot give from an empty cup. You have to fill yourself up. Then the giving comes from a place of, I'm doing it out of joy, not because I need to in order to prove anything or even to fulfill my life purpose. It's like, your life purpose is just to be you. And we're all doing the best we can to be ourselves. And the more we connect with who we really are, the love, and letting go of anything that blocks us from that love, and all the limiting beliefs that tell us I'm not good enough, I need to work hard in order to deserve things, I need to change myself, fix myself in order to be loved. The more we let go of all those limiting beliefs that are based on the illusion of being separate from love, then the more we align with who we are, and we are okay just being and doing out of the joy of it, out of the love of it. It's like one of the things I tell myself, especially lately, is I'm choosing, because choice is very important. Choosing, because we're the creators of our life. And if we're not choosing, we're just being in the automatic. We're just going through the habits or what other people tell us. Like, it's really important to become conscious. Like, what do I choose from this place of being the creator, the divine creator of my life? Well, I choose to be the love that I am, swimming in love for the joy of it, for no other reason. And I feel that just I can relax. I don't need to prove anything. I just do it because it feels good to my heart. And that means that you asked about boundaries. So what do I choose based on love? Knowing that I choose to love the God within me, the love within me first, so that then I can be the love and the light for others. Through my marriage falling apart and going through the divorce, I learned a lot about boundaries. it became one of the main lessons for me to learn about boundaries and what loving myself really looks like, sounds like, and feels like. I thought I was loving myself before, but I really wasn't. And thanks to that challenge, I became more clear about what self-love really is. And boundaries are really good. Loving boundaries. Yeah.
A sense of, I think there are many people who may not know how to love themselves.
Absolutely. I learned from my mother, who learned from her mother. I went to church and I was told what love looked like or was supposed to look like. So those were my self-love teachers. So I thought I was loving myself because I was doing what I was told. I thought loving myself meant that I had to be a good mother and that I had to be a good wife, and that's how I loved myself, being the most loving person I could be. And I found that I lost myself in that definition of self-love. I found that I really didn't know what I liked. I didn't really know what I wanted. I lost myself in that definition of self-love. And it's funny because my spiritual support team, as my marriage was falling apart, they would constantly ask me, Dumari, what do you want? What do you want in your life? What do you really, really want? I'm like, at first I thought, I don't know what I want. I know I just want to be happy and I want to feel fulfilled and I want to be loved, but I don't know exactly what that would look like. So they helped me get in touch with, what would that look like? What would that sound like? What would that really feel like? And the visions that I started getting when I was asking myself those questions were different than what I was living. And I then made a choice to find out what loving myself really looked like, and to love myself. And then I think from that choice, my life started shifting. And then it started showing me like, yes, Dumari, you are so loved by life. You're so supported and taken care of. Will you be willing to receive it? Like, yeah. So receive. Yes, I accept to be loved. I welcome that love. In all ways with money. And I had limiting beliefs about money, especially not earning money for so long. So I had to bust through those limiting beliefs so that then the new beliefs could bring to me that new reality. And in relationships, what did that look like? I would get very nervous when I had to talk to my husband, because I felt subconsciously, I was not aware of this, but subconsciously I felt less than, because that had been passed on by my mother and by my grandmother. Culturally, men were put up on a higher status. And consciously, I thought, I would never do that. But then my spiritual support team said, really look at what's going on in your life. When you get nervous about speaking up your truth and what's important to you, I actually had to write everything down when I wanted to bring up an important topic, because there was this fear of how it's going to be received. So those were the layers that I had to peel, and the fears, and empowering myself and loving myself. It all comes back to love, to self-love, and receiving that love from life and saying, you know what? I'm going to show others what it's like to love me. um, and ultimately, if they do it or not, it's okay. That's their thing. The important thing is that I love myself, and I set these boundaries about what I'm going to allow in my life and what I'm not. How does that sound, Rebecca?
I love it. And I like I love the universe, because the universe brought us together. And a lot of what you are saying is like exactly what I've believed and how I've been living my life for a really long time too. It's just a different lens. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, if I said everything you've said, I would say it in a different way, but we are so aligned on all the principles and the foundation of everything. I mean, I vibe with you because I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm I'm wondering, can we give our viewers a little mini masterclass around
Mm-hmm.
how to begin loving yourself? I know they're
Mm-hmm.
inspired right now, viewers, right? You guys are totally inspired. Like, you're like, I want that joy. I want, like, even the way you're moving, like everything about you, right? It's like, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
How do I get that? So can
Yeah.
we give a little bit of instruction about how someone would get started, especially if they're coming like from the clients that you work with? I assume they're coming from this place of what seems like devastation because they're
Yeah.
through this transition of divorce or a breakup or something. So if we take someone like a client of yours, or who would be
Mm-hmm.
a client, what's a little lesson that you can share with them to begin to love themselves differently?
Yeah. It's a good question. I see how see how my hand is going to my heart.
Did see that.
So our heart is a portal that connects us to our spirit, and our spirit is love. So the first thing I would invite people who are listening is to connect with their heart and tell themselves, no matter what has happened in the past, no matter what is happening now, or what may happen in the future, I am choosing to love myself no matter what. I may not know what that looks like right now, and that's okay. I am willing to find out what that looks like. So that first step is the choice and the willingness to open up to love in all the ways that it wants to show up in your life. It's a very simple step, but so powerful. And now I'm seeing a vision. So, and the viewers can actually write this down. So first step, make the choice, put my hands over my heart, and choose that no matter what, I'm choosing to love myself, and I'm willing to find out what that looks like. And the second step, I am seeing it's like like an opening, like almost like a portal, like a window opening above their heads, and saying, universe, I am opening myself up. I'm opening my heart. I'm opening my mind. I'm opening my body. I'm opening my whole self to receive the love that you are and that I am, reflected back to me in all ways, in all areas of my life, in my relationships, my relationship with money, my body, my health, and surprise me. I am willing to be surprised. I wonder what way life is going to come up with to show me how loved I am. I wonder what ways life is going to show me how to love myself today. And open yourself to that inspiration, and life is going to use everything around you. Your environment, pay attention to what shows up. You may notice somebody else experiencing love, and that's an example that you can implement in your life. You may be laying in bed and you're like, either in the morning or at night, and you're envisioning that opening and just being showered with like, I'm seeing like, it's like fairy dust. It's like magic dust, like loving dust. It's like you are just being sprinkled with love particles. Allow them to come into your body. Open your heart, open your mind, your being, your body, your whole energy to this love that the universe is showering you with. And then who knows what's going to happen? Be open to the surprises. So simple, but so powerful. And it's just real. This is very real. At an energy level, that's where everything starts. You have made the first step energetically to open yourself to loving yourself and finding out what that really looks like.
I love the universe, because what's really funny is when you were describing that visual and then you were like going like this. I thought of like fairy dust. And the reason why I did was a friend of mine, have you heard of fairy hair?
Oh, no, never.
Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but oh yeah, you can see it right here. Do you see that little bit of glimmer right there?
I think so, yeah.
It's hard to see on video, but my friend Claire, fairy hair, and it's basically like these little pieces of almost what might look like tinsel at like holiday time.
Yeah.
And she attaches them to your hair, and it stays in for like a couple weeks or a month or something.
Oh.
So she only gave me 2 right now. I have oh, there it is. You see it right there? Yeah, there's like a little, so I only have 2 right now, but like fairy has been on my mind because
that is so funny.
so she's giving me more today.
That is great. And
the thing I love is like, it's, we keep using the word love, we keep using the word joy, and like surprise me. Like these are such cool words, and it's like everything is just,
and sprinkles. Like sprinkle yourself with it. Sprinkle your food, sprinkle your water, and drink it. It's like that's self-loving. It's like, we have so many judgments around food. Hey, just love your food. Just sprinkle it with love right before you eat it. Yeah. What a self-loving act that would be. Before you wake up, before you get out of bed in the morning, sprinkle yourself with love. That's self-loving.
Yeah, and what's interesting about the food is that I bet it would be pretty hard to eat something that's not that great for your body if you're sprinkling fairy dust or fairy love on it.
Absolutely.
Someone who's struggling with food could start imagining that, and then it would be really hard to like make that conscious choice. Am I going to have a cupcake or an apple right now?
Sprinkle that apple so that it tastes even better.
I mean, these are ways that like these are real ways that you can, because we can approach any issue or any, what seems like a problem from many, many different angles. And you've shared such a beautiful way to allow spirituality into our choices. Because I think a lot of times maybe a lot of people don't do that. It's sort of like the last thought, unless you're actively studying spirituality or you're like very conscious of it. A lot of times people deny that dimension.
This is practical spirituality. This is practical, so practical. We don't even need to call it spirituality. This is just working with energy, the energy of a higher vibration that helps us step into the quantum field of infinite possibilities. You know, it can be very scientific and energetic. You know, we can speak energy for those of us who are more aligned with that language. It's still the same thing. That's why I said at the beginning, we think that we have to be more spiritual, but we don't have to. We already are it. Either we know it or not, it doesn't matter. We're already spiritual beings. So I think it's even more important to choose love, that higher vibration of love.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, you've mentioned meditation a couple times. Like, I find if I meditate, I get too high. And so I view things like meditation or going to the beach or taking a nature walk, all of those things, I think of them more like tools, like action tools.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, first, like, I believe we all are spiritual beings. We all have intuition. And it's a matter of whether we are open to it, recognize it, connect with it, embody it, live it, believe it, love it. We are it. Right? And yeah. when I try to do things like meditation or other modality, like certain modalities, I get too high. Like, my connection is like almost more than I can handle.
So then that's then that doesn't feel that it serves you as great as something else would. So maybe what you need is to ground yourself into the energy of the earth, which is, it's also loving, you know? So instead of going up high, it's like, let's ground and let's feel the love of the earth. Yeah, that feels good. And why am I doing it? For the joy of it. Because it feels good. And I think more clearly, and I feel happier when I do that. That's spirituality. You know, I think whatever makes us feel like our heart is opening and we are embodied, like here now, that's what would serve us in the highest. And then we all have a different way of getting there. For some, it will be a meditation with breathing. Others, it would be a walk connecting with nature. Other would be imagining that their roots coming from their feet and grounding with the heart of Mother Earth. Others, it would be looking at a baby and connecting with the baby, or playing with their dog or their cat. All those are heart-opening experiences or tools that bring us that experience. Yeah. I'm just buzzing, just thinking of all this. You know, it's like, yeah. And also, I feel like when people are going through a challenging time and difficult time, it's so hard for them to envision them being so happy or so joyful. Yeah, there is a bridge, you know, and yet the first step is to make that choice, that it is possible for me to be happier than I am right now. It is possible for a solution to appear, even though I may not see it right now. But I am willing to choose love. I am willing to choose joy. I may not know how it's going to happen, but that's not my job. That's the universe's job. I'm just willing and choosing. And then that opens up the possibilities and the help of your spiritual support team to come and help you, because, people are not alone. They have their own spiritual support team. It's just asking, and then opening themselves to receive. So, yeah.
Yeah, and when you're in a darker place and you just feel like it's impossible to live in joy again,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're so right, where a lot of people feel the weight of the idea
Mm-hmm.
that they have to do all of what it takes to get from not feeling so great to being in joy again.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that it's not all of, like, we're not responsible for all of that. We don't have to do all that work. That it's not as heavy as it seems. It literally is just kind of like this little slight opening to be open to it.
Yeah.
I'm open to being joyful again, or for the first time, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the rest just comes. The rest just happens.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're living in abundance. And I want to talk to you about abundance, because similar, like, I associate like abundance when it feels like, when it's so overwhelmingly abundant, it almost feels like things like the fear of success, or the fear of love, or the fear of anything that's so good, that is like so much that you almost like want to stop it before it starts, because even the idea of it is just, it's too much to handle. So talk to us about abundance and how to receive abundance.
Isn't it interesting that the ego, remember when I talked about the ego part of ourselves that believes in separation, versus the true part of us that knows we're one with God and love. So the ego is the one where fear comes from. Like, ego is like the COO of fear. It manages fear. It uses fear to control. And whenever we feel like we need to control anything, it comes from the ego. It comes from a place of fear. Why would we control anything if there is no fear? Right. So it's coming from a place of fear, place of lack. And that, even though our ego says, if you fear this, then it protects you from whatever it is that you're afraid might happen. Too much success, or too less money, whatever it is, too good, too bad. It's that fear. But the ego promises you that if you fear, that's the way to get what you want. It's, why would you fear something unless there is a promise that you're going to be safe in some way? So fear prevents us from moving forward. And then the key to abundance is really to let go of the fear. Let go of the fear of, there isn't enough money. Where am I going to get money? Where is it going to come from? Oh my gosh, I don't have enough money to pay my bills. How am I going to support my children, myself? Or again, fear of not being good enough, or fear of success. Oh my gosh, so if I get too much money, then people are not gonna like me or love me for who I am. They're just gonna want my money. Or what am I gonna do with all that money? It's just fear, fear, fear. So the key to abundance is to make a choice to let go of the fear, knowing that the fear is coming from the ego and it's not real. Only love is real, right? So making that choice to move to the place of, oh, wait a moment, if I am loved by life, that means that I'm going to be taken care of anyway. So what do I have to fear? I am loved. So I'm choosing to let go of the fear. It's like, thank you very much, but I'm choosing love. And then I'm choosing to know that money can come to me easily. I'm choosing to know that I deserve money, that I am valuable, that I am good enough to bringing whatever opportunities that money can come through to me. Oh, wow. So the opposite, I can get a lot of money. So what would be the fear of that? Who cares? I'll figure it out when I get there. Because I'm choosing love, I'm sure I'm going to be okay. Fear, when we become aware of the fear, just remember it's keeping you separate from what you want. It's trying to tell you that it's keeping you safe, but no, it doesn't know what it's talking about. It just wants to control. It's so much better on the other side where you are fearless. My team said to me a long time ago, and I wrote it on my book. I'll tell you a little bit about my book in a moment. But my team said to me, when love appears, fear disappears. When love appears, fear disappears. It's like turning on the light switch. When you turn on the light, the darkness disappears. And you realize that light is who you are. Light is what's true. And you can turn it on. Just choose to turn that light switch on. And then there is no more darkness. It just disappeared. So like that's what love is. So again, when you feel that fear, just say, I'm choosing love. I'm choosing to stand for love. I'm choosing to stand for me. And when I stand for love, for source, I know that it's already standing with me. I am supported. I am loved. And that's the key to abundance. To love yourself and allow yourself to receive the love that life has for you in all ways. Abundance of money, abundance of health, abundance of joy, abundance of ease. Life can be easier when you open yourself to being loved.
So we're talking abundance. Let's slide right over to manifesting.
Yeah.
So give us your understanding of manifesting and how you manifest in your own life.
For me, through my journey, I have learned that we are the creators of our life. So as I'm going to use the word God, but people can use any word they want: spirit, universe, source. So we are physical expressions of God. And just like God is called the creator, we are the creators of our own life. And we create with our beliefs. Our beliefs are just thoughts that we keep thinking, that we believe are true. So we are manifesting all the time. And we're manifesting our beliefs. So if you are experiencing something that you don't want, that doesn't feel that great, you're manifesting it, usually unconsciously. So for me, manifesting, when we talk about manifesting, for me, it means conscious manifesting of what you want, of what we want. So I have found that when we align ourselves with universal principles that are based on how life really functions, the truth of how life really functions, which is all based on love, divine love. And when I talk of love, it's not the feeling of romantic love. It's so much more than that. It's a vibration. It's like pure, infinite love. It's an energy, what everything is made from. So when we align ourselves with that, with those principles of life, of love, then we become conscious creators of what we want. And I'm just going to mention to you some of those universal principles that have opened my whole awareness of how to manifest consciously the life that I want. Everything is, everyone is, and you are made of love, infinitely loving, and infinitely loved. We've been talking about this whole show. Another universal principle is that everything is, everyone is, and you are whole and one with source. That means that you lack nothing. Energetically, you don't need anything. You are all of it. So when you come from that place of wholeness and abundance, then life can reflect that back to you. Another universal principle is that everything is, everyone is, and you are being served by source in the highest, no matter what it appears to be. And this is one that's a little trickier to understand, but when you bring it into your life and into your knowing, then you start experiencing that things are actually working out for you a much easier way. And you can see the gifts within the challenges. Another universal principle is that everything is, everyone is, and you are infinite possibilities. Anything is possible. In the quantum field, everything is already happening. So it's just a matter of us tuning in our vibration with that reality that we choose. Choosing joy, choosing love, choosing bliss, choosing play, choosing magic, choosing to know that you know, choosing ease. So those are some of the universal principles that are how life works. And when we align ourselves with those, we manifest whatever we choose consciously. And life just becomes so much easier and more fun, and little things and big things kind of just fall into place. And you feel the love. I'm like, oh, it's like I'm buzzing. It's like, yes. And this is what I have embodied through my journey. And then this is what I'm helping my clients embody and bring into their life and really know and free themselves to live the greatest life that they came here to live.
I think my favorite thing about you is that you are living this. You are this. Everything that you have said, not only do you believe it, but you are it. You're living it. And it's rare to find that. But I really see that in you, and I really admire you for that. And I love you for that. Like, it's what an inspiration you are, because it's one thing to say it. It's another
Mm-hmm.
to do that work in order to be able to live it the way that you're living it. And I recognize that. And I want you to know that I recognize that, because
Thank you, Rebecca.
yeah, it's coming out of your skin. It's coming out of the tips of your hair. I mean, it's like you're floating in the ocean of your background right now this whole
Okay.
time. I just feel like you've been like
Yeah.
floating on the top of the water.
Yeah. And can I say one thing? I do embody this, and it's a journey. And every day I continue making the choice to embody this, to become aligned. And even today, something happened, and I noticed that my ego went into, I am not valued. I am not acknowledged. And actually, that's one of the principles that I didn't mention, but that it's just one of them. Um, and I felt the need to control this situation, this person. And then I heard my spiritual support team say, Dumari, you are mastering principle number 4 of everybody is, everything is, and you are acknowledged by source and the angels in all dimensions. You are valued. You are seen. You are heard. You are known. And it's a matter of you realizing that these feelings that you're experiencing are not the real you, are the ego part of you that you're aware of. And now you get to master this one area of this principle. So I wanted to share that because it's like every single day. It's not like I'm already living like in heaven. Well, I am, but still there's life happens. And it's just, I see it as an opportunity to free myself from the parts of me that are still not fully aligned, and then making the choice of love. And then it's like another layer has been peeled, and I get to embody this beautiful reality even more so, to be the light for myself and for others, and make my contribution to the awakening of humanity back, and bring us back to love. Yeah.
Well, I know everybody watching is like, how do I work with her? How do I live like that? How do I make this happen? So tell us how we can get in contact with you.
I would love to connect with anybody whose heart is saying, I want to connect with Dumari. Yes, please connect with me. I love you already. So you can go to my website, which is empowerufromwithin.com. So empowerufromwithin.com. And just go there to the page, contact, and send me a message. You can also I offer free consultations, and then we can really get deeper into what it is that you're going through, what are your hopes and dreams, and see how I can help you consciously manifest your greatest destiny. And I wanted to share that I did write a book, and I'm so proud of it. It's called The Gift of Divorce, A Journey of Empowerment Through Self-Love. And it's my journey of me going through marriage falling apart, eventual divorce, and how my spiritual support team helped me heal, fall in love with myself, and empower myself, so that now I can help others do the same.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So viewers, seriously, like, where are you right now? Are you in this beautiful energy bubble that's just sitting right around us, and I feel like I'm swimming in an ocean of energy with you.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
our figures are too.
We are love, swimming in love.
I love it. So, Dumari, thank you so much for being here. And viewers,
Pleasure.
Seriously, viewers, like, if you guys are not in love with Dumari yet, keep spending time with her. Reach out to her. Do that free consultation. That's a gift in and of itself. So, reach out if you have any questions. I know Dumari will answer them, and I hope that you guys got a lot out of today. I know I did. I took probably 1,000 takeaways that I can, improve what I've been working on and get myself to where I want to go in the areas. Like, I heard everything that I needed to hear today, and that's just how everything works. So,
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
So viewers, that's it for us. And Dumari, thanks again so much. Pleasure having you here.
My pleasure. Mwah. Bye.
Wait. Don't tell me anymore.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We have to open the show. We have to we have to make it official.
I get so excited though.
I know. Okay. I love it. All right. Okay. All right. We can't say anymore. We have to just dive in.
It's Dumari St. Angelo.
Dumari St.
Dumari with a D.
Dumari.
Yeah.
Dumari St. Angelo.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to add an accent to it. Dumari St. Angelo.
You can do whatever you want.